What's poppin', baby? HD time. Yeah. How's it doing? How's it doing? I just got this new phone and I'm in my room chilling. And I thought it was time to bring back the classics. Yeah. All right. So what has happened? I'm in my jammies, by the way. Just got off work not too long ago, about an hour and a half, and my feet tired as fuck. So I'm not gonna touch the floor because if I do, I will cry like a little baby boy. So Senna DVR is over, and let me tell you, can I switch the camera? I can tap on my fucking screen. I can't get the front. Alright. I literally cannot stand. Okay. Senna DBR is over, and let me tell you, what a ride that was from start to finish. I don't care what anybody says, I had fun. Overall, net positive experience. I learned a lot, baby. Both being an admin and a player for both halves as a wipe. Pretty good experience, all in all. But Blue DVR is happening, which is very exciting. And a lot of people have heard a lot of things. And let me make sure I'm not incorrect as Blue. THP is losing his rabbit-ass mind right now. About humans. And let's talk about it, baby. Let's talk about race design. And this, of course, is just going to be my standpoint on everything. And what I think about races. And what I think that your race should mean as a player for your character. Hey, I just wanted to show y'all. Went to the comic book store not too long ago, and I got these One Punch Man in the flesh, baby. Yeah. Very excited. Haven't read through these yet. Probably never gonna, because they're all the way up there. But, yeah. So, new humans. So, I'm gonna be playing a Raijin Demigod on Blue DBR. And I have limited knowledge about what they do. I know that they're fast sword boys. And that's it. That's all I want to be, is a fast sword boy. And you can come up to my house and call me gay and say, Kazama, all you ever play is fast sword boys. 1, so what? 2, yeah. Let me get you some action here, some visual eye candy. This right here is the Astaroth Origin Gundam from IBO, and he will be our subject. Can I get some focus going on, baby? Oh no. Okay, so I know that a lot of people, Jumpy specifically, gives me a lot of shit for playing the same character over and over again. And I think there's a good difference between playing the same character over and over again and having a similar skill set over and over again. Because if you think about it, for a speed swordsman, there are many different ways that you could do a speed swordsman. And a lot of that is tied into what race you play. Because races intrinsically dictate your RP. Because they are who you are. And we, as humans, cannot fully imagine what it would be like to be an alien. Like, it's just fundamentally impossible. Unless the changes in your body are somehow entirely physiological and not mental in any capacity. And you still just think you're a human or whatever. But that's not how any fantasy race is really designed for DBR. So if you think about it, a lot of people like to play their non-humans as just humans. And have the same kind of nuances to them that we attribute to human characters. And whenever we do that, I think that we tend to just take whatever canon elements that we know that race generally share. And a lot of those are usually just like kind of boring traits, like, oh, these guys are pacifists usually, or for Namekians, they don't like fighting, and that's their thing. And then Saiyans have like a whole host of things to them, and a lot of people get confused about them, and it really just depends on what kind of Saiyan you're playing. But for the most part, they just like fighting, and that's like their whole thing. So a lot of people tend to play Saiyans as humans who like fighting, and a lot of people tend to play Namekians as humans who don't like fighting. And I think that's one of the most boring ways to make your character. Because if we see, even in humans, oftentimes faults are extensions of our own traits, be they positive or negative. Most usually, like, if you think about it, characters that are gullible are oftentimes also very loyal people and very trusting people. And those are positive traits. Traditionally speaking, you would think of those things as positive traits. However, realistic faults and faults that people can buy into and be like, yes, this character would act that way, wouldn't they, huh? Is faults that are extensions of positive traits. And I think that makes for much more interesting characters than simply taking a normal human that's nice and, polite, and just being like, well, my guide on how to write characters says that I have to have flaws, so I will make him slightly irritable at times and overly defensive. But then whenever they go to RP their overly defensive traits, it's always just like being overly defensive for their horrors. And it's like, okay, what a cop-out. I want characters that have genuine, deep-rooted personality flaws to them, too. I think people are afraid to make their characters ugly. And not in just the appearance set, in which they are very afraid to make their characters ugly in the appearance-wise. Being a pretty boy is mandatory. Let's get some of these vinyls down. Make sure I'm not dropping anything here. Whatever. Get some of these vinyls down. Just have things to look at. And I think that having characters that are deeply flawed inherently gives you an edge in roleplay when it comes to developing new things and progressing as your character. Because it isn't always just moving past those flaws. Because I think it's really lame to have a character arc where you're just completely erasing one of your character's flaws and just being like, oh, I'm not pissy anymore. Instead of it being a step-by-step process that you have to work through. And as a human being, we don't just change in a single moment. Single moments can have profound impacts on us, but after that defining moment that sets our character arc in motion, it still takes time for those new traits to really settle in and for you to really know how you express those new traits as a person. Because with me, if I'm trying to be a more understanding and nice person, or something like that, I'm already understanding and nice to you. It isn't just a thing that I do suddenly, and it's especially not a thing that people do suddenly just because they're in a dangerous situation. If I had a knife to my throat, and I knew that my defining character flaw was that I get pissy at people, I'm not going to suddenly not be pissy at people just because there's a knife to my throat and I need a reason to develop as a character. That isn't how human beings work. And that isn't how aliens work either, I don't think. Saiyans don't magically have something different to them in the way that they perceive reality and the way that their mind works on a fundamental level that allows them to completely negate one of their traits whenever it's convenient. And I don't think that any other race should have that kind of culpability to them. Culpability, I don't know. Very nice Dio album here. Yeah, baby, this has Roundabout on it. My favorite. But yeah, I think that's an important thing to know. However, people will often also just... Let me think of what I was trying to fucking say here. I think the reason that the people do those heel turns, and the reason why those are maybe more common than slow and subtle development, is that a lot of the tier S's that are currently incentivize those sudden changes in personality for in-the-moment applications and things like that. And I think that the King of Braves should be someone who has consistently shown brave behavior before applying. Because it doesn't make sense if one person could just be brave in a single outstanding moment and instantly become the King of Braves just because of their outstanding showing of bravery in one moment. Things like that should not so much be defining elements of your personality, but extensions of the defining elements of your personality. Things that you got because of the traits that your character already had, and your willingness to act on those traits in ways that may not entirely be favorable to you. And I think that a lot of the reason why people act on traits suddenly in ways that are unfavorable to them now is because they feel that they have a safety net to them in the application system, and a safety net to them in reputation, and a safety net to them in knowing that a lot of the time admins would rather have someone get a tier up than have them die. So they say, alright, Big Bad's here. I'm a brave lad. Time to go fight the Big Bad. And then they fight the Big Bad, and they're like, I was very brave. Can I have my tier S, please? And admins are like, you're nice. You roleplayed a wipe. Here's your tier S. And that's kind of lame that someone can go into a fight absolutely knowing with 100% certainty that if they apply, they'll get something. I think that the way that Blue is planning on doing it, with everything being admin application sort of meme, or not application, but no apps, and just having admins give you stuff is fine. I think that despite what he says, there is a chance that people will fall under the radar, and that's just, a part of the system. But that's fine. Some people should just, die, even though it's their moment. I think that that's completely fine to just be like, there is an actual chance of death. Just because you're good does not mean that you are invincible. And good role players should die. Not all of them, of course. There should be people who struggle and win and somehow make it through to the end of the wipe, but it should be somehow that you made it through. Not, I got KO'd 55 times versus 3 different movie villains and a couple of random player villains. However, my application game, absolutely on point, and I lived because I got full heals off of everything. And it's did you really survive that wipe, or did you just kind of coast through it? I don't know. Maybe my opinions aren't shared with the majority. Maybe I'm just talking out my ass. But I think that's kind of lame. To just be like, yeah, nigga, I lived. Admin shouldn't be afraid of saying no. admins, giving the power to them and letting them decide who gets what, and keeping track of all that, and being like, your character fits this. And the whole breadth of stuff that there's actually going to be in Blue DBR also makes me excited. Because it means that people will be less incentivized to gun for stuff, because there's just going to be so much stuff that it's hard for me to say, honestly, that I'm going to play a Raijin Demigod. Because when I get to that start screen, I don't fucking know what I'm gonna press, honestly. I'm just thinking Raijin Demigod right now, because I just want to be a fast sword boy. But there will probably come a point in my IC where being a fast sword boy just isn't something that I'm capable of anymore. Because I haven't hashed out any defined character traits yet. But I'm planning on playing something much more dickheaded than my usual cast. Because I've never played a villain. I've never played an actual player villain, I don't think. And I don't intend to be a villain. I would probably just be an anti-hero sort of meme. But I want to be like an actual anti-hero. Like, I think it was Digibro or someone said something good about how Amon and what's his face, and the guy who has Amon in his body from Devilman is a good anti-hero because he's strong and he wins the day and he has good intentions, but there is always that scary possibility of him snapping and and he's also a genuine threat to the people around him and not just to the villain. And I think that that's cool. But I'll probably be more dickheaded than that. I'll probably be a genuine threat to the people around me more than the villains at the start. Just because I like sucking cock. I don't know where else to go with this. Jesse, I know you made it to this part of the video because you always watch all my videos till the very end. And I appreciate you. I actually see that on my Google Analytics. I know you watch my videos to the end, Jesse. I know, I see. Always one viewer that's there at the end, and it's you. But I hope we have a good time. I hope we all have a good time. I need a good time in my life. Santa DBR going down. I'm kind of stir crazy. New job, not cutting it, baby. $7.50 an hour. Not enough for standing on my feet that many hours. All right. I don't know. You tell me what you want to hear from me, Jesse. Honestly, you tell me. Give me topics. I need more things to record. I need more things to talk about. I should just go start a podcast already. Hey, that's not a half bad idea. All right, see you later.